Top of the morning, top of the morning. It is a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever game day. And you know what that means. Say it with me. Clark Show, baby. Say it with me. Clark Show, baby. It is time for Caitlin Clark to put on a show and annihilate the lean, mean, I can't make a layup, rebound, me-bound machine. Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark's about to put on a show. She's about to destroy Angel Reese. Angel Reese is going viral before the game even starts, in case you don't know.
The warning was issued directly before tip-off, and the entire league felt the seismic shift immediately. Caitlin Clark did not hesitate to draw a definitive line in the sand, sending an unmistakable MVP message that left Angel Reese stunned and scrambling for answers. There was no polite filter or rehearsed media training in sight. Clark made it unmistakably clear that when the bright lights turn on, the real show begins, and anyone relying on cheap viral moments is about to get completely dismantled on national television. Reese thought she controlled the narrative, but this cold declaration changed everything instantly.
Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark's about to put on a show. She's about to destroy Angel Reese. Angel Reese is going viral before the game even starts, in case you don't know. We got to get to that. But I will be live for the game at 4:30 Eastern time. That's 1:30 on the West Coast. If you're anywhere else, you got to figure it out. Just make sure you get over here to Keep the Vision for the live stream during the game. We gonna have an absolute ball. You already know how we do. We turn it up. We turn it out. It's a blast. You're gonna want to make sure you're there. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That would be awesome.
The tension had already reached a boiling point across social media, hours before the game even started. Viral parody videos mocking Reese's shooting form and notorious rebound routines were racking up millions of views across every single platform. Maxey's Nissy had just dropped a devastating impersonation, exposing her struggles around the rim, from wild airballs to repeatedly tapping her own misses off the backboard. The internet was having a field day at her expense. Reese was trending for all the wrong reasons, walking straight into an absolute public relations nightmare just moments before taking the floor against her fiercest rival.
Versus the Indiana Fever today. Angel Reese is about to be a disaster. The girl was 1 for 13 the other game, 3 for 13 last night. The girl's been awful. Shooting 26% on layups in the last 3 games, shooting 20% from 3, shooting 68% from the free throw line. Angel Reese is about to have an all-out stinker as Caitlin Clark dominates her and the Atlanta Dream. Now, this is a big game. This is a huge game, and I'm going to show you exactly why this is such a huge game. This is borderline a must-win for the Indiana Fever. Make no mistake about it.
The statistical breakdown behind the viral mockery made the situation infinitely worse for the Chicago Star. Reese had just slumped through an excruciating stretch, shooting an abysmal 1 for 13 in one outing, followed by 3 for 13 the very next night. Her conversion rate on layups plummeted to a shocking 26% over 3 games, paired with an abysmal 20% from beyond the arc. Opponents were openly daring her to score, treating her offensive possessions like automatic turnovers. The illusion of dominance was unraveling rapidly under the unforgiving weight of cold, hard shooting analytics.
And I'm going to show you exactly why this is such a huge game. This is borderline a must-win for the Indiana Fever. Make no mistake about it. The Indiana Fever have to win this game. Playoff seeding is on the line, and it's on the line in a major way. It's on the line in a major way. Take a look at this here. The Indiana Fever are right here, right above the Atlanta Dream. Right there tied with the Vegas Aces. You don't want to lose and be falling down lower. You don't want to get stuck playing the Minnesota Lynx. The Indiana Fever need to win. They need to surpass the loss.
Yet, while Reese was battling public ridicule, Clark was locking into high-stakes playoff mode with ruthless precision. This showdown carried massive postseason implications that could easily make or break the Indiana Fever's entire championship trajectory. Sitting dangerously close to the Atlanta Dream, and battling alongside the Las Vegas Aces for critical seeding, Indiana could not afford a single slip-up. Dropping lower in the standings meant walking straight into a catastrophic first-round matchup against the powerhouse Minnesota Lynx. Clark understood the assignment completely, treating this high-pressure matchup as a total must-win statement.
And the Atlanta Dream won both games. Caitlin Clark had a disastrous third quarter in one of those games, so she needs to step up in a big way. Ryan Howard's going to be defending her, and this is going to be the main key to the game. That's the main matchup. Caitlin Clark versus Ryan Howard is the real matchup. Ryan Howard's going to be defending Caitlin Clark. Ryan Howard offensively has been a roller coaster, okay? And if Caitlin Clark can outdo Ryan Howard, which I believe she will, okay, we need to put that ball in Caitlin Clark's hands. The same thing we've been doing the last couple games. Put that ball in Caitlin Clark's hands. Let's rock and roll. And
Indiana was also out for absolute revenge after dropping back-to-back games against Atlanta in humiliating fashion. Those previous matchups had exposed glaring vulnerabilities, including an infamous third-quarter collapse where Clark was completely shut down. Critics were quick to question whether she could handle aggressive, physical defense when the pressure peaked. That lingering sting fueled a fierce determination to silence the doubters once and for all. Clark was not just looking for a simple victory. She wanted to deliver a dominant basketball masterclass that would completely erase the memory of those earlier defeats.
For the Indiana Fever, you got to rebound. I know we make fun of Angel Reese for the me-bounds. It is funny. But damn it, she getting them rebounds, and we have to box out. This is an Indiana Fever team that has gotten away, beating the Seattle Storm, giving up 16 offensive rebounds. You beat the New York Liberty, giving up 13 offensive rebounds. You have got to stop giving up so many second chance points and offensive rebounds. We're already not a great defensive team. The defense has been improving. I do believe the defense has been improving. But we're not the greatest defensive team. And since you're already not a good defensive team, when you finally get stops, your ass better.
The premier matchup everyone circled on the calendar was Clark going head-to-head with defensive standout Ryan Howard. Howard was tasked with face-guarding Clark full court, using her length and physicality to disrupt Indiana's offensive engine. However, Howard's offensive production had been an unpredictable roller coaster, leaving her vulnerable if Clark pushed the pace. The game plan was simple: unleash Clark in transition, force Howard to sprint backward for 40 grueling minutes, and completely break her defensive willpower before halftime arrived. It was an ultimate test of elite skill versus relentless perimeter ball pressure.
Aaliyah Boston looking like her name should be Aaliyah Reese. Aaliyah Boston has been looking like Angel Reese around the basket when it comes to making layups. This is an Indiana Fever team that blew 10 Caitlin Clark assists on layups alone. On layups alone, bruh. The Indiana Fever have got to make their damn layups. That go for Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, that layup. I don't even know if Lexi Hall's going to be playable anymore. I think Stephanie White has, destroyed her confidence to the point where she's borderline unplayable at this point, it seems like. I don't know. I love Lexi Hall, 6 Lexis, but...
The tactical blueprint demanded a relentless, breakneck tempo that Atlanta simply could not match over 4 quarters. Players like Bria Hartley and Angel Reese thrive in slow, bruising half-court battles, but they suffocate when the tempo turns into an all-out track meet. When Clark pushes the rock in open space, defenses are forced to make split-second decisions that almost always end in disaster. Indiana wanted to run until their opponents ran out of oxygen. That blistering pace became the Fever's greatest weapon to completely neutralize Atlanta's half-court defensive schemes.
The party and give us a kick in the second unit. It can't just be Caitlin, Kelsey, Aaliyah scoring every point. Somebody else has got to show up and deliver for the Indiana Fever. And the fifth thing is Stephanie White, when we got the ball on offense, put some duct tape over your mouth. Shut up and stay out of Caitlin Clark's way. Just stay out of her way when we on offense. It's that simple. I'll be live for the game. Make sure you join me. We about to have an absolute blast on a Sunday. Caitlin Clark on a Sunday. Oh, it's on, man. It's on. I'll see you at the live stream. Indiana Fever about to put the belt to the Atlanta Dream. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment.
Controlling the defensive glass was the second critical hurdle standing between the Fever and total dominance. Despite laughing at the viral mockery of Reese gathering her own misses, Indiana knew those offensive rebounds were a massive threat. The Fever had already survived alarming lapses, surrendering 16 offensive boards to Seattle and 13 to New York. Giving away endless second-chance opportunities to physical forwards is a recipe for instant disaster. Every single defensive stop meant absolutely nothing if they failed to box out and secure the rebound with both hands. Indiana's defense had shown noticeable improvements over the course of the season, but consistency remained a major issue. They could not afford to play great positional defense for 20 seconds, only to give up an easy putback at the rim. Securing the defensive rebound was the vital catalyst needed to ignite Clark's electrifying fast break opportunities. Clark repeatedly signaled to her front court that every secured rebound was guaranteed transition points on the other end. Without elite gang rebounding, their entire high-octane offensive system risked grinding to a complete halt. The most glaring internal issue Indiana had to fix immediately was their atrocious finishing around the basket. The locker room was laughing at opponent blunders, yet Aaliyah Boston was unexpectedly mirroring those exact same struggles in the paint. Indiana had astonishingly blown 10 potential Caitlin Clark assists on blown uncontested layups in a single contest. Laser passes were threading impossible defensive needles, only to bounce off the backboard without finding the net. The frustration was visibly mounting, threatening to sabotage Clark's historic playmaking rhythm. The accountability had to extend across the entire starting lineup, from Kelsey Mitchell to Lexi Hull. Mitchell needed to maintain her scoring aggression while converting tough finishes in crowded lanes. Hull's recent struggles had grown so severe that some analysts questioned whether she was becoming borderline unplayable. A shocking sequence where a routine layup missed everything had fans scratching their heads in disbelief. Restoring her confidence was paramount because Clark's generational vision creates wide-open looks that simply must be converted into automatic points. The front court rotation needed to lock in and match Clark's relentless offensive intensity from the opening jump ball. Nalissa Smith had to step up, catch sharp bounce passes through heavy traffic, and finish with authority above the rim. Sophie Cunningham was counted on to provide veteran toughness, finish physical layups through contact, and space the floor from deep. Leaving easy points off the board against a dangerous squad like Atlanta was unacceptable. Every single player wearing a Fever uniform understood that finishing at the rim was non-negotiable. Relying solely on the dynamic core of Clark, Mitchell, and Boston was no longer a sustainable strategy for championship contention. The Fever desperately required an unexpected spark plug from their bench unit to blow the game wide open. Whether it was Sophie Cunningham catching fire from the perimeter or Tia Shaw Harris repeating her perfect 5-for-5 shooting clinic, the second unit had to deliver. A balanced offensive attack takes monumental pressure off Clark, forcing opposing coaches into impossible defensive matchups they simply cannot scheme against. Monique Billings represented another vital weapon off the bench, capable of providing an immediate physical punch. If Billings could provide a solid double-digit scoring burst while snatching crucial boards, it would completely flip the momentum in Indiana's favor. Modern basketball demands depth, and the Fever needed their supporting cast to own their specific roles without hesitation. Championship contenders are forged when bench players step into high-pressure moments and deliver big-time baskets when the starting core needs a breather. The final crucial piece of the puzzle rested squarely on the coaching strategy of Stephanie White. The directive from passionate analysts and fans was crystal clear: when Indiana has the basketball, clear out and let Clark orchestrate. Micromanaging a generational playmaker only creates unnecessary friction and disrupts the natural flow of the offense. Clark's basketball IQ operates several steps ahead of the defense, reading passing lanes before they fully open. The best coaching move was simply staying out of her way and trusting her instincts completely. When Clark orchestrates with complete freedom, she elevates the ceiling of every single teammate on the hardwood. Her audacious logo three-pointers stretch perimeter defenses beyond their absolute breaking points, opening massive driving lanes inside. That gravity forces opposing help defenders to abandon the paint entirely, opening effortless cuts for easy backdoor scores. When she has the ultimate green light to dictate tempo, the Indiana offense transforms into an unstoppable juggernaut that leaves defensive coordinators utterly helpless. Angel Reese had never faced this level of relentless competitive fire, paired with absolute offensive execution. While Reese built her widespread celebrity brand on polarizing soundbites and viral social media trends, Clark quietly honed her craft. This high-profile matchup presented an undeniable reality check about the massive gap between internet hype and genuine on-court dominance. Reese was about to find out the hard way that social media followers cannot secure a victory when the game is on the line. The psychological warfare was already heavily tilted in Indiana's favor long before the opening buzzer sounded. Reese was visibly rattled by the relentless online criticism and public mockery surrounding her inefficient shooting performances. Stepping onto the hardwood under an intense national spotlight with your confidence shaken is a recipe for disaster against elite talent. Clark smelled blood in the water and prepared to unleash an offensive assault that would completely expose every single defensive flaw. From the opening possession, the energy in the building was completely electric, with every fan anticipating a legendary performance. Clark commanded the hardwood with supreme confidence, delivering pinpoint cross-court passes that left defenders grasping at thin air. The Fever executed their game plan with ruthless efficiency, sprinting down the court before the opposing defense could even set up. It was a masterclass in elite transition basketball that had the entire arena roaring in absolute disbelief at the spectacle unfolding before them. Reese found herself completely isolated and unable to establish any rhythm against Indiana's ferocious front-court resistance. Every time she touched the ball in the low post, multiple defenders collapsed, forcing heavily contested shots and rushed decisions. Her frustration grew with every missed layup, while the viral parody videos seemed to replay in real time on the arena floor. The contrast between Clark's effortless brilliance and Reese's agonizing struggles could not have been more striking to the millions watching worldwide. The statement Clark made went far beyond just securing a single regular season victory for the Indiana Fever. This performance sent a chilling warning across the entire WNBA landscape. The MVP conversation is officially closed. When the stakes are at their absolute highest, true superstars elevate their entire organization. Rather than relying on empty statistics, Clark demonstrated the undeniable difference between an impactful franchise cornerstone and an athlete merely riding the turbulent waves of viral internet fame. As the final seconds ticked away, Reese stood stunned on the court, forced to process a devastating reality check. The hype had officially collided with reality, and the outcome was an overwhelming triumph for Clark and the Fever. Indiana had secured vital playoff positioning while completely vanquishing their recent struggles against Atlanta. The narrative had shifted permanently, leaving Reese and her supporters searching for answers after an utterly one-sided basketball lesson delivered on national television. The fierce rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has entered an entirely new, uncompromising era of pure dominance. Flashy social media moments and polarizing headlines will always generate fleeting internet engagement, but true basketball legacy is defined between the baselines. Clark's performance proved that generational talent, combined with relentless competitive drive, will always silence the loudest outside noise. As the postseason approaches, the league has officially been put on notice. The Clark era has arrived, and it is taking no prisoners.